Ja, herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe Edelmetallmesse 2019 und jetzt habe ich ein Interview, auf das ich mich einerseits freue und auf der anderen Seite könnte ich mich in den Hintern beißen. Minera Alamos ist da. Sie wissen vielleicht im Mai bei meiner Runde habe ich gesagt, das ist einer dieser zwei Titeln, die ich am besten gefunden habe von meinem Mai-Trip. Habe auch ein Limit reingestellt und das ist nicht ausgeführt. Obwohl ich eigentlich im Ask reingegangen bin und ich dann blöderweise am nächsten Tag nicht nachgeschaut habe, ob es durchgeführt ist, weil ich davon ausgegangen ist, dass es durchgeführt ist, habe ich die Stücke nicht bekommen und seitdem hat die Aktie ja knapp 100% performt und ist nicht zurückgekommen. Das finde ich eine Frechheit. Aber die guten Aktien kommen teilweise nicht zurück und das ist leider da Minera Alamos ein perfektes Beispiel. Doug, thank you for the introduction and thank you for your time and sorry about the German introduction, was a little bit longer. I said in my introduction that you're my favorite from my May trip in Vancouver, and I missed the opportunity to buy the stock. I put the order in, I think it was going through, I not check it, and now you are at nearly 100% up. So and you're not coming back. And you're not coming back. All stocks that follow, and for me it was clear when we have this correction in the gold price that the stock should going down, not your stock. Why is this?
Yeah, it's been it's good to see you again, Joe. I'm sorry you missed out on that. I personally don't think anyone has missed out on the opportunity that still presents itself. But no, it is very resilient. It's funny, we had a warrant overhang we talked about in May and that disappeared. So we went from having 86 million warrants out to we now only have 3 million. Our last two financings have been straight share. I don't intend to issue another warrant unless they're broker warrants. So with that warrant overhang gone, our stock was able to trade like it perhaps should have done. And so from June till beginning of September, we kind of tracked the GDXJ and we tracked the peer group of developers. And then to your point, when September came around, even though gold was up at $1,500, a lot of those companies gave up some of their gains. And Minera has just continued to power forward, and so even on days like yesterday, and we've lost $40 in an ounce in gold in the last week, and we're basically static still, and that's very encouraging for me because I think it means we've got the right kinds of investors in our stock who understand that you need to buy with a longer term perspective as we develop a longer term business model here.
Yeah, but also you are not too long, I must say, so they're not coming up with a production in 10 years.
No.
So it's short term for me more that you can really say, okay, in a few periods, quarter or something, we are in production. So, or on the way to production, we must say. And what's really you're doing very well is you deliver the milestone what you really say you will deliver in this time period. Yeah. So, okay, one is the stock, but what is the next 6 to 9 months?
Well, it's a very critical one for us because we go from a gold developer to a gold producer. To your point, by next summer we should be mining at our first mine, Santana in Sonora, Mexico. And that makes us a very small, exclusive group of new gold producers next year. And I'm a big believer that the best way to play the gold market is to be mining gold. It's why the gold producers all have outperformed junior explore codes. And I think we'll continue to if we get into a raging gold market. So, I would expect to see, we're also drilling right now. I like to think our company gives investors an opportunity to play production and exploration and development all wrapped up into one little kind of ETF of the different aspects of mining. So we're drilling right now. Most importantly, we'll have a funding package probably announced before the end of November for the very low capex build that is Santana. That will allow us to start construction in January, maybe a little bit of the early construction work starting before Christmas, but really getting going in January. It's a 6-month build. We'll start up the first operation at 25 to 30,000 ounces a year next summer. And just a handful of new gold producers in the sector. So
you say a small financing. How small is the financing?
Well, we're going to do most people understand our biggest shareholder is Osisko Gold Royalties. They're in the royalty business. The reason they backed us as a big shareholder was they could make royalty capital available to us on our very low capital projects so that we can get them up and running quickly and then grow them out to cash flow. So, I would expect that we'll formalize a non-equity funding package in the next month. And there could be an element of equity that runs alongside it, but very modest. And if we do that, it will be largely because Santana has changed a lot. Even since we saw each other in May, our understanding of the project, we want to get going with a lot more drilling, even before drilling it out of cash flow, because we see Santana now growing into 1.5 million, 2 million ounce deposit, and maybe a production profile that can exceed 100,000 ounces a year in a few years' time, just from Santana. So we want to accelerate that. So that package will be put together probably inside the next month.
Okay, so that means you not really go to a market, you go more with Osisko for a royalty stream.
Yeah, and anything we do will be, again, I'm very proud of the fact we've done 2 straight share financings. I think we've seen from the move in the stock price what happens when you're not capped by warrant ceilings. So, the goal for me on the capital market side is to continue doing only straight share financings moving forward. Yeah.
Okay. Coming to market capitalization, what is the market cap now?
Right now we're about $75 million. So we have fully diluted about 400 million shares out, 376 million issued and outstanding, and 3 million warrants and some options. So trading around 20 cents, so about $75 million.
So, and your goal in 1.5 years is, okay, you're starting with one mine, but you have greater plans.
Yeah, we have a second mine that we would start construction on early 2021, maybe late 2020. That would bring another 50,000 ounces a year of production on stream. By end of 2021, we'd be on an annualized run rate of about 100,000 ounces a year at an all-in sustaining cost, probably around $700 an ounce. Wow. So we don't need higher gold prices.
But I prefer a higher gold price. Then is the sentiment much better.
Yeah.
And when the sentiment is better and attract more money, the valuation of the stocks going up higher.
For sure.
But if not, can you have some, or do you have some example what 100,000 ounce producers has around market cap now, so that we can compare your market cap now with the market cap maybe after?
Yeah, I mean, every producer is different. So, our 3-year goal is to get to 150,000 ounces a year, and we think we can do that just with our Santana and Fortuna mines through a series of expansions. So I like to think of us more as targeting 150,000 ounces a year. And if you look at that group of companies, and as I say, each one is different. I can look at 100,000 ounce a year producers that are valued higher than 150,000 ounce a year producers. But in that 150, range, they start around 400 million market cap, and they can be as high as 800 million. Mm-hmm. So, middle point of that is $500 to $600 million. I certainly want to grow the company to be that kind of company, and certainly to rub shoulders with that peer group of companies. So,
okay. Yeah. So that means it's 4 times higher. Okay, you need some financing also between, but we don't know how big it is from the equity portion. But to compare 80 million or 75 million to 400 million at the lower end, it's a big gap.
Yeah, even on the lower end of that range. And if it's so I think that there's, even though we've had this very strong move where we've outperformed, our peer group on a price to net asset value basis, we're still trading at a discount to them. So based on our existing PNAV kind of calculations, so there's plenty of upside still. I feel that although there might have been an opportunity missed back in May or June, really the company has just de-risked a lot sense, and I think that I always want to feel like anyone who is to buy stock tomorrow, we've left something on the table for them to make money off. And so I think we're still trading at a discount, and it'll be up to us to continue our very strong execution to show the additional value.
Is there, your goal is strictly to bring it in production, or you so as a production company? Is there maybe, not opportunity is not the right word, but is it possible that somebody come along and buy you in general?
I think, I actually hope not, because I would rather us have the time to grow this into a very strong cash flow generating business model where we can be the acquirer of complementary assets to continue to grow our company. The last company that Darren and his team, our team, had was Castle Gold,
and they
were acquired by Argonaut. I guess if we were acquired, we'd just do it all over again. But I think the fun starts when you start generating a lot of cash and you can look for acquisition. So I hope this time around we're the acquirer rather than the acquired, and we can show that we can continue to add value with our strong technical team.
Doug, thank you for the update.
Thanks, Joe.
This time we are a little bit shorter than last time.
Yes.
But I'll come over in January, or maybe we can do in January next update, or then in May when I come to Vancouver.
Would love to, yeah.
Ja, das war ein Update von Doug Ramshaw, Minera Alamos, und er hat ein paar wichtige Punkte gesagt. Wie gesagt, ich habe leider die Möglichkeit verpasst, dort zu investieren. Ich habe nicht daran gedacht, dass die Order nicht durchgehen könnte, wenn man die reinstellt, aber ist so passiert, und die Aktie ist gelaufen wie Sau, würden wir einfach sagen. Aber das ist einfach die Story, ja, wenn dann der Überhang von den Warrants, die Aktie wirklich stabil gehalten hat oder nach unten gedrückt hat, weg ist, dann, wenn der Deckel da einfach weg ist, dann geht einfach mal die Aktie nach oben. Aber was mich wirklich verwundert hat, sie kommt nicht zurück. Das spricht eindeutig dafür, dass die Aktionärstruktur sensationell ist, also dass die richtig passt. Und genau das ist das, was dann natürlich auch spannend macht. Aber was jetzt noch interessant ist, und das glaube ich haben wir jetzt auch relativ gut rausgearbeitet, ist, eine Marktkapitalisierung ist jetzt 75 Millionen ungefähr. Voll verwässert 80 Millionen. So, sie wollen 100.000 bis 150.000 Unzen produzieren in 1,5 Jahren. Und das können sie mit den bestehenden Projekten. Und wenn man das dann vergleicht mit den Produzenten, die dieses Geld haben, dann, oder welche Marktkapitalisierung diese Produzenten haben, dann liegt man bei 400 bis 800 Millionen. Da sieht man einfach den Unterschied zwischen 80 und 400. Natürlich müssen es dazwischen ein paar Finanzierungen machen, ist klar, aber bei weitem nicht so, dass es so verwässert werden könnte, dass man nicht eine Werthebung macht. Und das ist, glaube ich, das genau, was der Markt jetzt riecht sozusagen, dass diese Aktie jetzt nicht mehr wirklich zum Markt zurückkommt. Sie haben mit Osisko Gold Royalty auch einen sehr guten, der Royalty Streams macht und finanziert diese Royalty Streams, und deswegen schaut es eigentlich ganz gut aus, und auch jetzt bei diesem höheren Kurs hat die Aktie noch extremes Potenzial. Wenn also der Goldpreis weiterläuft, glaube ich, wird das eine der Aktien sein, die am meisten positiv überrascht, und das ist auch gut so, denn genau solche Stories brauchen wir, denn der Markt ist nach wie vor in keiner leichten Situation. Das war's von der Edelmetallmesse 2019 München. Tschüss und Baba. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.